Alright, so we're going to surgery. Today's the first surgery for Katie, who is camera shy. She's holding the phone. But today is pretty much the first surgery because she's gonna have two actually on both hips. Wow. So today's November 20th. She's gonna have the first surgery, and then in 3 weeks she has another one, which I don't know how I'm keeping it together, to be honest. Like, I am freaking out. Like, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it, but I am freaking out. You know what? Let's go this way. I am freaking out. It's gonna be like 12 weeks of recovery, something like that. Is that
yeah, about 12 weeks of recovery.
12 weeks of recovery. Yeah. So right now we're going to the surgical center, making sure that we get there on time and everything's gonna be fine. And to be honest, I haven't really slept at all, and I know that a lot of people go through this. And right now, just so you guys understand this, why I was freaking out, like during the week I was freaking out even worse, because they had told us that I wasn't gonna be able to go in with her, like to the actual surgical center. I would have to wait outside in the car. So I was like, oh my gosh. And just so you guys know why I was freaking out, it's because last time when Katie had this surgery again, she had a seizure. She had a seizure after, so they actually had to let me go to their little post-op area, so I had to be with her. But this time I was like, oh my gosh, if the same thing happens, what the fuck am I going to do? You know, like I'm gonna be outside. So I was freaking out about that. But then they told us like, no, you can come in. So that made me feel a little bit better. That actually made me feel a little bit better, but it's hard, especially because of everything that's going on with COVID and all of that. It's a little surreal, to be honest. It's a little surreal. I can't even describe how I feel. It feels, I don't know, like it's hard to describe it. Like, it's scary and another thing. I mean, as everybody knows by now, my wife is a Spoonie, but for her, this particular or any type of surgery is gonna be hard. And the reason why it's so hard for her is because she has blood clotting factors. So with blood clotting factors, because she's gonna have to be cut open, and that way they can go in and everything. She hasn't taken her medicine, her blood thinners. So the problem with my wife is that because of how her blood reacts, she could have a blood clot. So we're literally risking a lot so she can be in less pain. And I know that a lot of people are going through this, especially with chronic pain, when you have other types of issues in the situation, like my wife, where she has that particular blood clotting factor, which unfortunately is genetic. There's nothing that we can do about it. We just have to deal with this, but it's hard because after the surgery I have to watch her very closely to make sure that there's no blood clots, there's no bleeding or anything like that, because like I said, she hasn't been able to take her blood thinners. So we're the next few days after the surgery is going to be even harder, because if she gets a blood clot in her leg, it could travel to her heart, to her lungs, or even to her brain, which she already had an actual a stroke for that before. So it's hard. And I just want to show this because this is what Spoonies and caregivers go through probably every day, and nobody really shows it. And look, I even want to cry because it's hard. It is hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not showing it, but on the inside, I'm all like freaking out. But
two to come.
yeah, and this is the first one. So in 3 more weeks, we're doing it all over again. And we have done this before, twice before, huh?
Yeah.
This is like your 3rd surgery, so I know that everything's gonna be fine. But at the same time, it's like, you know, that one little thing that it's like, that's what scares me, you know. But we will be fine. So I just wanna show what a lot of people go through that a lot of other people don't understand, because it is so surreal to have to go through this, and especially with COVID right now, you have to follow strict guidelines. Like my wife had to be in quarantine. She had to get her test done for COVID. She had to be in quarantine until today, so they could make sure that she didn't get the virus. I had to be very careful with myself, you know, with work and all these things. So if you're going through something like this, especially in this time, or you had gone through something like this around this time, believe me, you're not alone. You're not the one that you're not the only one that feels like ready to cry, because I am ready to cry. But while I'm waiting for my wife to be done with her surgery, I'll be watching Hulu, because there's literally nothing else to do in there. Like, I will just have to wait and until the doctor says everything went fine. How long is the surgery? Like an hour?
Hour and a half.
Like an hour and a half. That's gonna be the longest hour, 90 minutes of my freaking life. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, it's gonna feel so surreal. It's gonna feel like scary. It's gonna be like, woof. I don't think that last time I was this bad, but because of COVID, it's even worse, you know. And because of my wife's health not being getting worse, because of everything that's been going on, it's even harder to understand what's happening. So we will see how it goes, and then we will see what happens after. But everything, like I said, everything's gonna be fine. Nothing is gonna be like, this is in our first surgery, so I know that everything's gonna be fine.
Update number 2 coming.
Yeah, and then I'll update you after the surgery, because right now we have a long drive. So I'll keep you guys posted.